All right, what up, YouTube? This is No Cap, No Filter. I'm your host, Molly G, back at y'all in an episode of Run It With You. And today I want to run it with y'all about my advice I want to give to young women that's single with kids. I came across a video. Could have been a fake video. You know, a lot of people do these little story time videos and be lying for clout. But at the end of the day, I know this story can be real for a lot of people. So it was basically a young woman was coming forth saying how her stepdad took her virginity, and it was going on, for a couple of years, like, him and her, and the mama was like an alcoholic. And me personally, I think a lot of women be knowing their daughters be messing with men and still be messing with the men, even after finding out what happened to their daughters, because it'd be like they don't want to work no more. It's usually a woman that's up in age. It's usually a woman that's, past her prime. And she locked down a man that got some money and willing to take care of her. And when you older and you pass your prime, you don't really just be like, oh, well, I could just go find me another man. It don't come that easy. It's few and far in between before you could get a man to really commit to you and really provide, and you don't have to go to work and just pay all your bills. So when you're at your prime, you kind of want to hold on to that man. And some of these women, they'll hold on to a man even at the expense of their integrity and, their morals and even their kids. So first of all, the lady had moved in this new man just right off the bat. Like, met him, everything was cool. Next thing you know, he's at the house meeting the kids, and the kids are like, "Hey, this your new stepdad. This is my new boyfriend. He's gonna be living with us." Like, young ladies, I just want to let y'all know, when y'all meet a dude and y'all have kids and y'all single and y'all stay alone with your kids, get to know the dude for at least a couple of months first, like at least a good 3 months before you just bring them around your kids and at your house, getting to meet them and stuff. And then after those 3 months, make it official with them first. Let them spend time with the kids outside the house before you just usher them on into the house. Uh, Let the man meet the biological dad if y'all still having a co-parenting system. If it's a boy, let them meet the biological dad. The biological dad need to have a talk with him about how he want to discipline this boy. If it's a girl, then especially a young girl that you have, you definitely want the biological dad and the new stepfather to have a talk and you know set some boundaries. It, your your new dude, he's probably should be the one that's going to want to have to talk anyway and tell him to have any type of reinsurance. Like, man, look, I'm with your girl now. You ain't got nothing to worry about when it comes to the respect for your little girl. I ain't no weirdo out here. I'm not, you know, on no type of crazy timing. You ain't gotta worry about no boundaries being crossed. You ain't gotta worry about no type of disrespect being made, and any type of discipline. I'm gonna let you handle that. Like, at least with the boy, it could be up in air. But with the girl, you kind of want to let the girl just only get disciplined by the mother and the biological father, bar none, unless he was just in her life from when she was a literal baby. But when it comes into play, always gotta have boundaries when it comes to using the restroom. Always gotta have boundaries when it comes to her privacy, when it comes to her room. Always gotta have boundaries when it comes to them even leaving out the house together. It just let people know where y'all going. Certain appropriate times, even appropriate times to communicate directly on the phone. So Ladies, just figure out, man. Like you don't know what type of hidden agenda a dude got. And when these things do happen and occur, people always be shocked and be like, "Oh, I never would have thought he'll be like that." Well, nobody's going to broadcast it. Nobody's going to have a sign saying, "Oh, I get down like this," you know. And you know, it's no justifying. There's no justifying that. A lot of women, they be losing self-esteem, they lose self-respect, they feel like they in competition with their daughter sometimes. A lot of it be drugs, a lot of it be alcohol. um and it be people try to justify anything, just like with R. Kelly. Like, I'll be falling out with people when it comes to that type of conversation, because at the end of the day, just like a lot of other men, R. Kelly was the adult. No matter what type of consent a young girl claimed they could give, at the end of the day, it comes down to the adult to draw that line. It comes down to the adult before anything get pushed even further. You see what I'm saying? So when it comes to certain things, especially when it comes to certain people, I don't care how much good music he made. Like, that's crazy, because you wouldn't give that same grace to Melvin that's the mechanic around the way, you know? But just because he made good music, you try to justify it and be like, "Oh, I blame the parents. Oh, the kids knew what they was doing." No, he's the adult in the situation. So a lot of moms be like, "Oh, well, she knew what she was doing." No, he's the adult in the situation. He's the one that got to set the boundaries. A lot of people come at the victim. Oh, she know what she was doing. She know what she was doing wearing a booty shorts. She know what she was doing walking around the house like that. She just fast. But at the end of the day, that's still a child's mind. It's still a child's mind. And a predator gonna prey on a child's mind. So at the end of the day, it's up to the adult to be the adult in the situation. Bar none. So, ladies, all I'm saying is, before you just move a man in, when it comes to your kids, let it be a man that you actually, can see yourself starting a family with, that you can actually see yourself building a strong foundation with, and maybe that could grow into something lifelong. Not just know any dude because he throwing you a little bit of money. Not just know any dude because y'all just lusting over one another in the beginning. Not just know any dude because he just look fine or got some type of popularity or whatnot. If it's a dude that you think about moving in, it gotta be a dude that you thinking about being 10 toes down in the full-fledged relationship with. But it gotta be a stand-up guy. It gotta be a dude who carry himself with respect, gonna provide, gonna protect, just all that. But ain't on nothing weird though. Don't give you no type of vibes. He's willing to sit down and meet the biological father on some grown man shit. Like, you got to make sure all your ducks in a row to see if this is a good candidate going forward. Because even if the man ain't on no weird shit, you don't want a revolving door of men after men after men after men in and out your child's lives coming up in the households that you're gonna be living in. So like I'm saying, like, even if they not on nothing weird, you don't want Harry, Melvin, Joe, Bernard, Sam. You don't want all these different people. You want to bank on the right dude you're gonna meet and make the right choice. Now that's the only thing about females. Y'all just got terrible mate selection. That's why in a lot of cultures, the man and the brothers, they pick for the daughter. They pick for the sister because we a better judgment of character when it comes to a man. It's just certain things we look for. that's gonna outweigh other possible flaws. But when it comes to women, it's like flipped. What can be a big flaw could be a turn on in a woman and a huge red flag. And sometimes women think they could change them, but sometimes a zebra don't lose their stripes. But yeah, man, I just came across that video and was just thinking, like, yeah, man, I really think women need to take their time when it comes to their kids, you know, and not only for your kids, you got to have some self-respect for yourself too, because your kids gonna remember that one time at growing up. Not to mention the digital footprint these females leaving behind on the internet. But that's all I got, man. I just want to know if y'all got any videos y'all like to for me to react to. Go ahead on and put it in the email nocapnofilter7@gmail.com. Go ahead on and like, go ahead on subscribe. If anything that you want me to touch on, go ahead on and send it to me via email nocapnofilter7@gmail.com. But you know, I'm just want in this, like, ladies, y'all gotta be more patient. Y'all gotta do your due diligence, and you gotta have some real good discernment when it comes to choosing these men that y'all dealing with and bringing around your kids, especially your little girls. Like, it's one thing to bring them around your sons. Maybe they could, you know, be some type of father figure in the house. That could be cool. That could be a plus, you know, but you still gonna have to talk to the biological dad, and they gotta have some type of discussion or agreement on what type of boundaries can be had when it comes to discipline. But with the little girl, I feel like only the woman should discipline in the household. And you know, if she do get out of line, the stepdad could run it by the mama, or if he just that cool with the biological dad, he could tell him, hey, she doing this, she doing that. I don't really approve of it. I just want to let you know you handle it how you want to handle it. You know, if it just get that severe. But other than that, that's basically all I got to say, man. Hopefully y'all like the video. Hopefully y'all like some of the advice. Go ahead on and leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, and I'm out, man. Peace.